Hello, namaste, tashidele to all of you, and welcome to our third video section. I'm so happy to be part of this program. Last year, Dhardo Rinpoche and I were very fortunate to interact with some of your students along with the two professors at our Meditation and Science Center in Mundgod. At that meeting, we discussed the Four Noble Truths, compassion, and secular ethics. This year, however, as the coronavirus crisis is going on in the country and all over the world, we couldn't interact each other in person, but we hope creating these videos can bring some benefits to you during these challenging times. In this video, I will be talking about mindfulness, which is very necessary during these uncertain times, where our mind is going through a lot of different thoughts, emotions, and pain. And then we will be practicing mindfulness together for 10 minutes. So the concept of mindfulness is not a new thing. It has been developing throughout the ancient Indian wisdom tradition as well as the Tibetan tradition. According to the Nalanda tradition in particular, mindfulness must have two components: mindfulness itself and introspective awareness. The English word mindfulness is the translation of sati in Sanskrit or tempa in Tibetan, which means recollecting or holding an object unto your mind. While holding an object unto your mind or be mindful with it, what happens is that your mind can focus on that object or gets distracted. So you have to watch or observe your mind, whether it can focus on the object or gets distracted. And this is called introspective awareness or meta-awareness. Observing the mind while paying attention to an object without going through a process of investigation is the definition of mindfulness in the context of single-pointed concentration training or shamatha meditation. It doesn't analyze the object, but just look at object and avoid mental distraction. In other words, mindfulness helps you to settle your mind and create mental calmness by aware for your own thoughts, behavior, and emotions. So you can develop mental resilience to regulate your thoughts and emotions. Therefore, mindfulness and introspective awareness are the two basic essential components of mindfulness practice and meditation practice in general. Without them, you might not be train your mind, nor you might not be built the foundation of your mental training. Now let me tell you a little bit about the modern mindfulness. The mindfulness that is taught and being researched in the scientific context. In 1979, an American professor called John Kabat-Zinn developed an 8-week course of mindfulness aimed at reducing stress, anxiety in his patients. This is called mindfulness-based stress reduction. This course is a combination of mindfulness itself, yoga, body scan, and observation of your own thoughts, emotions, and actions to help people with stress, anxiety, depression. This was the first time that mindfulness was adopted from Eastern religions and put it in a scientific context and use it as secularized mind training technique. Because of this, it gained widespread popularity in the West. What interests me about of John Kabat-Zinn's work on mindfulness is that his mindfulness definitions and its effects on the brain. He defines mindfulness as a pay attention in particular way and a purpose non-judgmentally. Again, pay attention in a particular way and a purpose non-judgmentally. According to this definition, the mindfulness is purposeful, non-judgmental, and present moment awareness. In my opinion, this definition is very simple and a very deep, thoughtful insight about mindfulness. Ever since mindfulness was integrated with the science, many researchers began to examine its effects on the brain as well as on the mind. What happened after mindfulness was introduced in scientific context? What did scientists find? Well, in the science, especially in the neuroscience, the brain is the main organ that controls all the functions of the body and interprets all the information received from the outside world. And all our mental states are governed by the brain, consciously or unconsciously. So scientists mostly believe that the consciousness or the mind is emerging property of the brain. Therefore, when they look at the mind, they look at the mind through the brain because they believe there is a stable and a solid connection between the mind and the brain in terms of their change in particular. Recently, what they found is that the brain is always going through a process of change itself. They call it neuroplasticity. In simple terms, neuroplasticity means the ability to change the brain. As we go through a lot of psychological issues or as we get older, some of our neurons in the brain become weaker and get lost, causing mental disease and brain traumas. But if we do mental exercises such as mindfulness meditation, we can strengthen our neurotransmitters and build mental resilience. When it comes to the mindfulness effects on the brain, we need to talk about Richard Davidson's work on mindfulness. What he has found is pretty remarkable of the modern meditation movement. I will tell you three things that he has found so far. Firstly, after we practiced mindfulness, amygdala, a brain region for its role in managing stress, is less activated. Secondly, mindfulness increases the gray matter and the prefrontal cortex of the brain, which is the area of your brain responsible for planning, problem solving, and controlling emotions, and increase the activity in this area. Thirdly, with the mindfulness meditation, the hippocampus, brain region for learning and memory, become thicker, and therefore we can enhance our memory and learning. So therefore, mindfulness is traditionally, scientifically beneficial to oneself and others. If mindfulness is beneficial to oneself and others, how do we practice it? Well, there's many ways to practice mindfulness, but I will tell you two. First is bring your attention to your breath. And this is the first meditation technique that you can do on yourself. But I will not go into detail of this technique because Dhardo Rinpoche has already introduced it in his second video. The second is the observation of your own mind, noticing what's happening in your mind. Let me give you an example. When you stand on the beach of Goa, what you see is that the waves of the ocean come in, dissolve into the ocean. This is the nature of the ocean. Like the ocean, our mind also has different states that are coming in, dissolving into it is natural. Like we have different thoughts, memories, emotions, and imaginations. Some of the waves of the ocean are weaker, some of the waves are stronger. Similarly, some of our mental states are peaceful, some of our mental states are violent. Whether they become peaceful or violent depends on how we deal with them. In conclusion, with the mindfulness, we will be able to see the innate basic goodness in yourself and others. Therefore, the more you practice mindfulness, the less vulnerable you become in terms of dealing intoxicated mental states. Okay, so now let's do mindfulness meditation for 10 minutes all together. I want all of you to sit in a comfortable position. You can sit on the floor in the cross legs, or you can sit on a chair. Just make sure that you are sitting well and relaxed, mentally and physically. And the important posture is to place your right hand on the left hand, and the thumbs should be touched like this. And you open your shoulders, and now you can close your eyes. After you find a comfortable posture, now take 3 deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth. Okay, so let's do it. One, two, three. Now bring your full attention to your breath that is normal and natural. Just observe your natural breathing rhythm. Breathe in, breathe in out, breathe in, breathe in out, breathe in, breathe in out. Know your breathing in, know your breathing out, know your breathing in, know your breathing out. If your minds wandered, just gently and softly bring it to your breath. Just observe the breath, inhalation and exhalation. If any emotions or thoughts arise, just acknowledge them and let it go. Again, gently and softly bring your attention to your breath. Inhalation and exhalation. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. If some emotions arising, and if they are so intense, you can't concentrate. In this case, just quietly say, I will let go of this emotion. I will let go of this anger. I will let go of this hatred. I will let go of this stress. I will let go of this worry, and so forth. And if those emotions are so intensive, don't upset and don't feel guilty yourself. Don't upset and don't guilty yourself. Just accept what it is and let it go. Just observe your natural breathing rhythm. Breathe in, breathe in out, breathe in, breathing out, breathe in, breathing out. Know you are breathing in, know you are breathing out. Know you are breathing in, know you are breathing out. Know you are breathing in, know you are breathing out. To conclude our mindfulness meditation, let's take 3 deep breaths like we did at the beginning. Breathe in, breathing out. Breathe in, breathing out. Breathe in, breathing out. To conclude our mindfulness meditation, let's take 3 deep breaths like we did at the beginning. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And open your eyes. Thank you. Oi mane be me hoi, oi mane be